Here's your text with punctuation added. In the event that we remove the lines, the most fascinating star, I believe, is the star that could be stunning in our sky. It is this one, bug squeeze or bug juice. It's a red monster star. In the event that you put it where the sun is, it would stretch out to the orbit of Jupiter. It's huge, very shaky, and going to detonate. It's not as straightforward as it appears to be in the universe. These gigantic events, like the most dreaded huge starbursts, could shake all that we see and don't see to its center. Yet, Betelgeuse is seen as a sign, a red very monster star that is multiple times greater than our sun. Brian Cox and other stargazers figure it could go supernova. Whenever individuals are generally scared of what will happen because the James Webb Space Telescope is taking stunning photos of the star. When precisely will Betelgeuse become a supernova, and how large of an impact will it have on Earth? Let us figure out. A star in the heavenly body Orion sparkles so brilliantly that even individuals from quite a while ago have seen it. The notable star Betelgeuse is situated on the eastern shoulder of the constellation Orion. Scarab Juju is the second biggest star in the constellation Orion. Its name comes from this component, the monster shoulder. It is one of the most brilliant stars in the night sky. On top of being extremely bright, the star is also a peculiar shade of red, which, as we will see, is an indication of trouble. We've had some significant awareness of scarab juice for quite a while. A Greek researcher named Tmy also studied it around that time. The only thing individuals knew about stars was their color. Tmy said that creepy crawly juice was an orange color. Researchers have been studying the star much more closely of late and now have a smart idea of what works. One of these characteristics is that the star changes brightness a lot, with an apparent magnitude of 0.6. Bug Ju is a variable star, which means that its brightness changes over time. However, recently specialists have gained some new useful insights about the star. In 2019, researchers first noticed that Betelgeuse was acting strangely. Despite the fact that Betelgeuse didn't completely stop shining, it wasn't the same since it had become considerably less bright, shining at a magnitude of around 1.6. Researchers immediately began to investigate why they were seeing the 10th most brilliant star overhead in this abnormal manner. Researchers have needed to make a terrifying explanation based on their research, which ended in the abnormal signs the star has recently shown. Researchers say that Betelgeuse could go supernova at any time. Brian Cox is a notable researcher who made this exceptionally hazardous statement. As a notable professor of particle physics at the University of Manchester School of Physics and Astronomy, you shouldn't take his statement as a joke. He also has a science show, writes a number of notable science books, and is the Royal Society Professor for Public Engagement in Science. Brian Cox says bug juice is like a ticking delayed bomb since it could go off at any second. To exacerbate the situation, the James Webb Space Telescope has shown an enormous amount of proof to back up this statement. However, what odd signs has Bug Ju given that have brought so much concern in space science? Based on new data about Bug Ju, the star has been marked as a supernova candidate. Yet researchers are still not certain when it will detonate. The fact that bug juice is around 15 times the mass of the sun is one explanation for this classification. A star, in theory, should be at least 8 times the mass of the sun to be known as a supernova. Things get really interesting, however. For this reason, researchers have used many instruments to investigate Betelgeuse, such as the James Webb Space Telescope and the Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory, to watch what's going on in space around creepy crawly juice. What they found is still fascinating. The sun was born on August 31st, billions of years ago. Around that time, the star scarab juice was seen to give bizarre indications that made its future hazy. What did they find? However, they could get peculiar light waves coming from the star or in the direction of Betelgeuse. That is extremely abnormal. Yet, it wasn't the only thing specialists saw from the star. This takes us back to the idea that Betelgeuse is a star whose brightness changes. Sometimes it was said that bug juice darkened down like clockwork and had dark spots, very much like our sun. Today, however, the situation is different. It changes from bright to dim twice as fast as it used to, which is another weird sign that Scarab Ju is back. Researchers found that the star's dimming cycle had hit a band of brightness of plus 1.61 in February 2021. This was very shortly after the massive dimming event. Remember how the star appeared to dim in an odd way in 2019? That is because it is generally known as the Great Dimming. We could see that the Great Dimming was the beginning of Betelgeuse's abnormal behavior. And made many people worry Betelgeuse was going to detonate. The range of dimming was between 1.2 in 2019 and 2020, and the lowest degree of dimming ever recorded was in 2019. So specialists were certain that Betelgeuse would go supernova in the next 100,000 years because of the Great Dimming. There is a lot happening in the universe, so this is really alarming. Researchers immediately changed their minds. When they saw what happened next, scarab juice got brighter again after the Great Dimming and became something even more striking. Astrophysicist Andrea Dupree at the Harvard-Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics says that the star is currently 150% more brilliant than normal, making it the 7th most brilliant star overhead right now. Researchers were frightened when they saw a red glow in the southern hemisphere of the sky. Today, it still gets more interesting because this has led to a lot of different theories about what caused the Great Dimming. We will explain. First, it's important to note that not all stars have the red glow of scarab juice. The red glow of Betelgeuse is an indication of a red supergiant star, which is the last phase of a star's life and death. The red glow, on the other hand, is surprisingly caused by a surface temperature of around 3,500 Kelvin, which is much cooler than the surface of the Sun, which is 5,500 Kelvin. Since bug juice is cooler than our Sun, it gives off less energy per unit of surface area, despite the fact that it is larger and going to explode. Now, let's discuss what the Great Dimming looked like. Brian Cox says, does it imply that creepy crawly juice is about to go supernova? Really, the fact that Betelgeuse is a red supergiant already indicates that it is nearing the end of its life as a star. A star that is dying will also normally dim over time, which is something that researchers agree on. Even so, bug juice's new abnormal behavior has made researchers even more concerned, and many telescopes are currently focusing on the Great Dimming. Still, things get more fascinating because specialists still don't have a deep understanding of creepy crawly juice. Researchers are now using the most cutting-edge tools to keep an eye on the interesting things happening around Betelgeuse. The James Webb Space Telescope has been one of the best tools researchers have used so far. Since 2021, the James Webb Space Telescope has been in space and has helped researchers learn a lot about Betelgeuse. The new pictures of Betelgeuse's Great Dimming taken by this telescope have shown that the event caused a surface mass ejection. Based on new research, we now know that this mass ejection was around 400 billion times greater than a regular CME. The James Webb Space Telescope can also observe things that our eyes can't see, like light waves and frequencies. Consequently, researchers are excited about what the telescope will find. Researchers have seen dust clouds forming on the star's surface that seem to be leaves in space. That doesn't seem to be legitimate. Despite the fact that bug juice will die, researchers are still watching it because they don't know when it will go supernova. Researchers imagine that bug juice is multiple times greater than the Sun and that the radiant red star will shine for the next 10 years. However, given the many peculiar things occurring with the star, it's hard to say if this assertion will still be valid after the Great Dimming. So specialists don't think creepy crawly juice will explode anytime soon. If Betelgeuse explodes, it will be the first supernova we witness for ourselves since Johannes Kepler did in 1604. Researchers also don't want this to occur sooner rather than later because they are still watching out for the star's unusual behavior. Despite the fact that researchers are certain that Betelgeuse will go supernova, when exactly it will happen remains a mystery. Assuming that we examine the universe without bias, one of the most captivating stars, and possibly the most surprising in our sky, is creepy crawly juice, frequently referred to as scarab JW. This red giant star, whenever set where the Sun is, would reach out to Jupiter's orbit. This staggeringly enormous, temperamental, and on the edge of a blast. The universe doesn't work simply such moments. Great events, like the dreaded starbursts, could fundamentally change all that we see. Betelgeuse has shown captivating signs. A red supergiant star that is multiple times the size of our Sun stargazers, including Brian Cox, believe it could go supernova at any moment. The concern lies in the implications of this event, particularly since the James Webb Space Telescope has captured frightening pictures of the star. So, When precisely will Betelgeuse become a supernova, and what effect will it have on Earth? Let's dig into it. A star in the constellation Orion, Betelgeuse, shines so brilliantly that it has been observed by ancient civilizations. Betelgeuse, situated on the eastern shoulder of Orion, is the constellation's second largest star. Its name implies the monster's shoulder. It stands out as one of the most brilliant stars in the night sky, and its strange red tint shows potential instability. Information about Betelgeuse goes back hundreds of years. Even the Greek researcher Tmy noted its orange tone. Recently, researchers have closely examined the star and uncovered its exceptional brightness variations. With an apparent magnitude of 0.6, Betelgeuse is known as a variable star, meaning its brightness fluctuates over time. In 2019, Creepy Crawly Jew displayed weird behavior by dimming significantly, reaching an apparent magnitude of around 1.6, much lower than normal. This sudden dimming prompted researchers to investigate. Their research led to a surprising conclusion: Betelgeuse could go supernova anytime. According to Brian Cox, a prestigious professor of particle physics and public science educator, his statement, supported by evidence from the James Webb Space Telescope, sparked widespread interest. What surprising signs has Betelgeuse shown? As a supernova candidate, Betelgeuse is multiple times the mass of the Sun, exceeding the threshold for supernova potential. To understand the star better, researchers have utilized various instruments, including the James Webb Space Telescope and the Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory. Observations revealed peculiar light waves emanating from scarab juice and a significant change in its brightness cycle, now happening twice as fast as before. The Great Dimming Event between 2019 and 2020, where Betelgeuse's brightness dropped to an all-time low, raised concerns about an impending supernova. Following this dimming, Creepy Crawly Juice brightened again, becoming 150%.